Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold. Yo, it's Classic with the Classic Codes, and you know we back with another reaction video. So this is gonna go in combination with my other reaction video from the Truth After Dark, where they interviewed Sarah F. I don't know how to say her last name, so we're gonna call her Sarah F. But I thought it was interesting, and I said on my video that I was gonna do her 6 pillars of self-love test, and I didn't do it at the end of my video, so I'm making this one to actually take the test with y'all. So we're gonna pull the video back up, and I'm not going to react to it, but instead we're just going to let her reiterate what the 6 pillars of self-love are, and then I'm going to give y'all my honest test results that I gave myself. I haven't even done the mean to get my average number yet, so we're going to do that live right now. So let's get it going.
But I will say this, and I say this all the time. I feel like for a person to ask for something that they're not qualified for is crazy. Ooh. Right? And so I always say, in order to see what you believe you deserve and try to be as real with yourself as possible, maybe ask a stranger. I feel like there are 6 pillars to true happiness, true self-love, true self-worth. And that is physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and energetically. So what I want people to do, if you're listening to this, is make a bar graph, make a bar graph of all 6 of those things separately. And on a scale of 1 to 10, rank yourself. You cannot use a 7, and then add all of those numbers up, divided by 6. That's your average. So now, to be clear, if you ain't been to the gym in a year or 6 months, you are not an 8. Okay, don't give yourself a 6. Yeah. If you don't eat right and you don't go to the gym, don't give yourself no 6. If you know you haven't talked to God in 10 years, don't give yourself an 8 or even a 6. If you know that you go off when somebody cuts you off in traffic, you go off on Miss Susie at the work office. If you know you have no emotional regulation emotionally, do not give yourself a 6. So when you look at your numbers, you add them up, you divide it by 6 to get your average. If you're a 4 or a 5, stop asking for a 10.
Ooh, that is a bar.
Okay. Okay, so we got what we need, y'all. Shout out to the Truth After Dark, as always, with Paul Pierce in the gang. So we got what we need. We got what we need. So I did the 6 pillars test. Not only am I going to go through what numbers I gave myself, but without telling y'all too much of my business, I'm going to let y'all know what my rationale is, okay? And then we're going to find out my average so we can see how much I love myself, okay? All right, so the first one was physical. Physical. Right now, by default, I have to give myself a 6. The reason why I have to give myself a 6 is because in March 21st to be exact, I tore my patellar tendon in my knee. And so since then, I've actually been in physical therapy. I got surgery, and it's a 4 to 6 month recovery process. So, and that's before you're even back to doing anything athletic, jogging in straight lines, being able to maybe even jump rope a little bit. So it's going to be a while before I'm back to being myself, and I have to go through the process. I'm healing up and I'm doing well. I'm walking now. I could drive again, stuff like that. So slowly but surely I am healing up. But as of right now, because I'm not in the gym the way I was in the gym 4 to 5 days a week. I was running, probably anywhere between 6 to 15 miles a week. All types of stuff, boxing, everything. So it's going to be a while before I'm back to my original form. And because of it, my body isn't as tight as it once was. So I'm going to give myself a 6 on physical, but for good reason. And that's okay. We're going to bounce right back. Mentally, I'm going to give myself a 9. I'll give myself a 9 mentally. So far, we got a 6 for physical and we got a 9 for mental. Reason why I'm gonna give myself a 9 for mental is because I've had some very trying years. The past few years, I've had some extremely trying years, a lot of different trials of a lot of different kinds. And I've learned through those times that the way that I've grown as a human being and the way that I've curated my perspectives and chose to look at this life has made me a very strong individual. And with going through rough patches and times like that, I feel like, honestly, I've only gotten stronger. Like a lot of times when you pray for strength, you pray for resilience, or you pray for big milestones to happen in your life, God in the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, is going to make sure that you're fortified and prepared to receive the things that you're asking for. And a lot of times that may come in the form of a shitstorm to get fortified, to get prepared, to gain the disciplines that you need, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I've gone through my storm, and I've learned a lot about myself. And to be honest with y'all, I'm pretty fucking impressed, to be real with you. So I would say a 9 mentally. Do I have some room for improvement? I have some. But for the most part, I'm solid as shit. So we got a 6 physical, 9 mental. Emotionally, I would say I'm at a 10. Never in my life have I had more self-respect. I've always had a lot of self-respect, but never have I had more. My self-respect is at an apex, I would say, because of that. And my perspective is also in a really, really great place as well. So I feel good about myself. I feel good about life. I feel good about the things that are in front of me. And I'm at peace with the things that are inevitable, right? Like the things that are in my control, I try to control those things. I'm mastering discipline, which is a great thing because to master discipline is to understand when to disregard your emotions, right? Because you may not always feel like it. And so because of that, I'm going to give myself a 10 emotionally. Spiritually, I'm going to give myself a 9. The reason why I'm giving myself a 9 is because I have some pretty big spiritual milestones that I want to cover. I have some pretty big spiritual milestones that I want to cover, all of which I won't share here right now, but there's actually like tasks and actual things that I want to accomplish when it comes to spirituality that I have yet to be able to do to this point in my life. Some of it involves travel, you know, just to say, you know, a little bit. Some of it involves disengagement. You know what I mean? From everything, what I would consider to be my normal life and things like that. So I'm going to give myself a 9 until I could check a few of those things off of my bucket list on spiritual. Financial, I'm going to give myself a 6, but again, it's in alignment with physical because I haven't been working. I've been on disability, and as a grown adult with grown adult responsibilities, being on disability pay is significantly less than what your normal pay would be. You know, we got some side hustles, a little bit of passive income and stuff like that, but for the most part, you do have to shrink down a few things about the way you go about it. And so because of that, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a 6. And then we're going to, what was the final one? And then energetically, I'm going to give myself an absolute 10. My energy is amazing. It's fire. Anybody who doesn't like my energy, anybody who can't feel my aura, they are a low vibrational vessel, and get your demonic ass from around me. And please do it expeditiously. Yes, before this God force overcomes your motherfucking ass. Yes, Lord. So I'm going to give myself a 10 on energy. So if we add that up, a 6 for physical, a 9 for mental, that's 15. Then we had a 10 for emotional, that's 25. We had a 9 for spiritual, that's 34. We had a 6 for financial, that puts us at 40. And then a 10 for energy, that puts us at 50. 50 divided by 6. 6 go into 50. Let's see. 8 times 48. I'm doing the math the long way, y'all. I'm old school with this shit. All right, so my average come out to 8.3 and some change or some shit like that. So yeah, so my overall is a 8+. You know what I mean? An 8+. So that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm, you know, playing in that ballpark for sure. It just lets you know I'm nowhere away from a 10 for real. I'm not, you know, here to toot my own horn, but I gave you guys real explanations for why, you know what I mean, things are the way they are. You know, some of this stuff is God-given. You know how handsome I am. I got to give credit to my mom, my dad, and nothing more than the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Being 6'2", again, neither one of my parents are even 6 feet tall. So, you know, all this height and all this chocolate, you feel me? I got to give credit to God. And once I'm back all the way on my feet and I'm able to tighten up my body and get back to work, shit, we gonna take that physical number and that financial number up. And then shit, I'll be back to being a 9 or a 10. You know what I'm saying? Like in no time. You know what I mean? It feels good. It feels great. You know, it does come with some cons, a lot of pros, but it does come with some cons. A lot of times women be thinking you got hoes, even though I'm not necessarily participatory in the streets, but women just think I got hoes because, you know, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm gonna stop gloating right now and stop, you know, looking at myself on camera and stuff. I've been trolling for the last 3 minutes straight, but yeah, man, that's my self-love test. You know what I mean? Y'all do the test. Jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all averages are, why y'all think y'all are where y'all are, and let's talk about how we gonna glow this shit up. Let's go. But if y'all don't do nothing else for me, if y'all enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe, make sure you drop comments because we gotta crack these codes. And if you don't do nothing else, man, stick to the codes. Yes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart and now hardened the